Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. We got a long one today because we're finishing up Crimson Vow spoilers, and most of them are commons. Wah, wah. But let's take a look to see if any of these commons have some real good play, especially in the limited format, as we know that pre-release season is upon us, and it's almost time to get it out there and start jamming tables. So, with that said, also, there are some cards that got reprints from Midnight Hunt into Crimson Vow, which I thought was very weird. So I'll mention those as we go through and not cover them too much. So without further ado, guys, trade tables and seat backs in full upright position. Let's get out there and take a look at the last of these spoilers as we have now the whole set previewed. And if you want to support the channel, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, put some comments down below, feed the YouTube algorithm, blah, z blah, z blah. Also, in the link or in the description, there's a link to the eBay store. If you want to do a little monetary donation, you can buy some stuff. I always appreciate it. Plus, I have some sealed boxes for sale that I'll even open on the channel for you if you want. And they all come with free shipping, and we can work something out. There's an email in there. Just hit me up. All right, let's go. So first thing we have here, we have the Binding Geist. So for a blue and 2, we get a free 1. Whenever it attacks, target creature and opponent control gets -2/-0. That is really good for a common because that means you can swing in and not have to worry about this thing dying a lot of times. What's even better is the disturb cost. It then becomes an enchantment where enchanted creature gets -2/-0. So not only can you use it to beat up your opponent, but once they manage to kill it, you can now shrink down their creatures. So great for limited. Probably going to see some play. Next, we have what I would like to call a common all-star. We have a black and 2 for a 2/2 lifelinker that says when another creature you control dies, you get to transform the farmer. And when you transform him, he becomes a 4/3 with lifelink for 3 mana, basically. This is going to be an all-star in limited. So, yeah. Moving on. Next, we have the Ragged Recluse. So, for a black and 1, you get a 2/1. It's at the beginning of your end step. If you discard a card this turn, you get to transform it. And when you transform it, it becomes a 3/3 for 2 that when it attacks, defending player loses a life and you gain a life. This is going to be another all-star, especially in a limited format. And this one, I think, is probably going to see some standard play. So, with that said, moving right along. Next here we have the Hook Hand Mariner. A green and 3 for a 4/4, so it's already a great common for filler space, but when it transforms, it becomes a 6/4 for 4. That says, can't be blocked by creatures power 2 or less, so they can't chump block it to death. Makes this a great common for limited, and it's probably going to see a lot of play in those green decks. Next here we have the Blood Soviner, or Soviner, whatever. So for 3 colorless, you get a 2/2 artifact creature construct that when it enters, you get a blood token. This is going to be great filler space for the 3 slot in those draft limited formats. That's by ball she wrote for this one. Next, we have Sheltered Bowels. So for a green and 2, you get an enchant creature. When it enters the battlefield, it gets to draw a card. Enchant creature gets +1/+3. This is obviously only going to be good in draft, but the ability to draw a card and pump up your creatures may be something you need in this draft format because it seems like a lot of the creatures have the exact same power level, and being able to make a creature big enough to win fights along with getting a card back and replacing itself can be really sweet. Just watch out for removal because you won't get to draw a card if there's nothing there. So here's one of the reprints I talked about from Midnight Hunt. This is the armor. It's awful. It's only going to be seen in limited, and even then I doubt it. So moving right along. Another one, Snarly Wolf. This is another reprint from Midnight Hunt. It's a great card then. It's a great card now. Going to be great in limited. So, moving on. We have Adamant Will. So, for a white and 1, you have an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains indestructible to the end of turn. Great combat trick for the limited format. Probably won't see any other play, though. Here we have Estwall Shield Basher. That's a hell of a shield. So for a white and 3, you get a 4/2. Whenever it attacks, you may pay 1 colorless. If you do, it gains indestructible to the end of the turn. This thing is going to be house in limited. Just because they can block it, but they can't kill it. So, yeah, this is going to be a powerhouse in the limited format. Oh my god. To be honest with you, in standard, probably not so much because there are ways to kill it before it attacks. There's that in limited too, but there's few and far between. So, and it does cost 4 mana. It's kind of on the high side. We have Force Retribution here for a white and 2. Destroy target attacking creature, which is great for white. For 6, you can just destroy a creature. This again, powerhouse for the limited format. If you have a lot of mana, they won't attack with a creature. You can just kill whatever it is, keeping them alive because it's defending the best. Or wait for them to swing and just kill those kind of creatures. So this is going to be a draft all-star. May even see standard play, I think. We have Heron the Blessed Geist. So for a white and 4, you get a 3/3 flyer. For a white and 3, you can exile Geist from your graveyard, create two 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying. You only do it as a sorcery on your turn, but still, 5 mana for a 3/3 that can become a 2/2 1/1 flyers. This is going to be a all-star in limited if this is what your deck is jamming about. Moving on, we have Piercing Light. 1 white does 2 damage, target attacking or blocking creature, scry 1. Again, limited all-star. There's been many cards like this, Sunlands, yada yada yada, that does the exact same thing. This one has a scry on it, so that'll make it even better. So powered up version, definitely an all-star for limited. Here we have the Perish Blade Trainee. So 1 white and 1 for a 1/2 with training. When the trainee dies, you put its counters on target creature you control. So this is phenomenal for common, guys. It has training, which if you guys don't remember, when you attack with a creature, when you attack with 2 or more creatures, and one of them has training, if there's a creature in the attacking that has bigger power than the one that has training on it, the one with training gets a +1/+1 counter. This can do that and grow, and not only that, when you do manage to kill it, those counters go onto another creature. This is definitely a limited all-star, and I really do think this is probably going to start seeing a little bit of standard play, just because there's not a lot of boards. Decks aren't playing a lot of board sweeps right now. It's more one-on-one removal in combat, and this is the kind of thing that can really take you above the rest. Moving on, we have the Nurturing Presence, 1 white and 1 for Enchantment Aura. It says, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, this creature gets +1/+1 to end a turn. When Nurturing Presence enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token. So this is pretty sweet. So basically for 2, you put it on a creature. This generates a creature immediately, giving it +1/+1 to end a turn. And then every turn after that, it keeps getting the +1/+1. Probably going to be pretty good for draft limited. Nebelgast Beguiler, so a white and 4 for a 2/5 for 1 white that taps creatures. Good filler space, helps you on the defense. It is a 2/5. 5 mana is a lot. We'll have to see if it gets any draft play. I'll probably see playing one of those in a white deck at a time. Supernatural Rescues, a white and 3. This says the spell has flash as long as you control a spirit, which makes it even better, because when you cast this spell, tap up the 2 target creatures you don't control, and then you get to enchant a creature you do control and give it +1/+2. This can be a killing card when your opponent's trying to block. This could be a card that can help keep you alive and keep your opponent from swinging in to kill you. So this has lots of utility. I think it's going to be a really good card really good card for limited. Next we have Traveling Minster. So for 1 white, get a 1/1. Tap target creature gets +1/+0 to end a turn. You gain 1 life. Activate only as a sorcery. So in limited, this is going to be the bomb. Only because getting a life plus pumping your creatures all in one for white just seems nuts. Especially when you have cards that when you gain life, they get bigger. Now, with that said, this will also be an all-star in some of the standard decks, like Angel Cleric decks, that they just want to pump life so stuff gets bigger, because you want to get to that high life total so you get the bonuses. Plus, a lot of things in there have, when you gain life, they get bigger. So, this will probably see some standard play. Next here we have the Vampire Slayer. It's a white and 1 for 2/2. On par. It says whenever Vampire Slayer deals damage to a vampire, you destroy that creature. So this will be a limited all-star because it will chump block any vampire dead no matter what it is. So this will definitely be good and limited. Alchemist Retrieval. So we have a 1 blue instant. It says return target non-land permanent you control to its owner's hands. Now you can cleave it for 2 and do any permanent. This is going to be a really good multi-purpose bounce spell. Just because 2 to bounce a card is right on par, and for 1 less you can bounce your own, so you can actually have those kind of tricks up with them not knowing it. Great for limited, may even see a bit of standard play, but I doubt it because there's a lot of cards that are better than standard. So, but definitely limited all-star. Here we have Chill to the Grave, a blue and 2. It says this spell costs 1 less to cast if you control a zombie. Tap target creature, doesn't untap on its controller's next untap step, draw a card. This is going to be big in limited. This is going to tap down creatures for 2 whole turns, let you get 2 swings in, plus replaces itself. And if you're already on the zombie theme, it's even better. So, yeah. Here we have Cradle of Safety, a blue and 1 enchantment with flash. You get the enchanted creature you control. It says when it enters the battlefield, enchanted creature gains hexproof to end a turn. It also gets +1/+1. Great combat trick to actually save a creature from dying. Also a great trick to prevent removal from killing your creatures, so you can actually get 2 for 2s. This is going to be a great card in Limited. It's going to see a lot of play. May even see play in Standard. The Cruel Witness here is 2 blue and 2 for a 3/3 with flying. Not bad. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, look at the top card of your library. You may put that card into your graveyard. So that's a real good bonus to what it's doing. It's already a great card, 4 mana for a 3/3 flyer. So this will definitely see limited play. Here we have the Dreadlight Monstrosity, which is 2 blue and 4 for 5/5. A little high, but it does have War 2. And for 5, the Monstrosity can't be blocked this turn. Activate only if you own a card in exile. That's very interesting. But still, it's a 5/5 for 6 with War 2, hard to deal with. This is probably going to be okay and limited to a point. Next here we have the Fear of Death. So it's a blue and a colorless. It's a enchant creature. When Fear of Death enters the battlefield, you mill 2 cards. That kind of sucks. Enchanted creature gets -X/-0, where X is the number of cards in your graveyard. Okay, so it's a decent removal spell. It's going to be real good in Limited because as you fight and trade and stuff goes in the graveyard, you can really neuter one of the creatures that's the best creature that does combat with. So I see this being a real good removal spell for blue. Repository Scab here. We have a blue and 3 for a 3/3. Not bad. It does have Exploit, and when it exploit a creature, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. That's big. This is going to be a really good card in the limited format, just because there's all kinds of ways to make zombies, or if someone locks down your creature, you can sacrifice your lockdown creature for an instant or sorcery that's really good, like a removal spell, or even a counter spell, or whatever, right? So this is going to see lots of play in the limited drafts. Next here we have the Sell-Off Entomber, a blue and 1 for 1/3, not terrible. It says discard a creature card to draw a card. I don't think this is going to see a whole lot of plays. Last thing you want to be doing is discarding your creature cards. So yeah. Next here we have the Serpentine Ambush. It's a blue and 1. Until end of turn, target creature becomes a blue serpent with base power 5/5. So again, another good combat spell that you can block and make your thing big enough to kill one of theirs. So pretty good for blue. It's right on par. The Skyward Scab is 2 blue and 3. It's a 2/5 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile 2 cards from your graveyard. If you do, draw a card. So this is almost a Muldrifter. This is definitely going to see limited play. 2/5's pretty big that it won't die. Plus, with flying, can get in the air. And the ability to draw a card is pretty sweet as well. Next here we have the Steelclad Spirit, 1 blue and 1 for a 3/3 defender, not too shabby. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, he can attack as though he didn't have defender. This seems like a great card, especially if you're on the enchantment theme. So yeah. Stitched Assistant is a blue and 2 for a 3/2, already good stats. Has exploit. Whenever you exploit, you can scry 1, then draw a card. This is bonkers. So this is going to be amazing and limited because you can, once again, get rid of those creatures that have been locked down or are not useful anymore to scry 1 and draw, plus you get this creature in exchange. Yeah, just amazing. Just amazing. So here we have the Siphon Essence. It's a blue and 2. It says counter target creature or planeswalker spell, create a blood token. So obviously this is going to be insane. This is a counter spell that counters almost anything for a blue and 2. Plus you get the ability to have a blood token. This is going to be an all-star for limited. Wonderlight Spirit, blue and 2 for a 2/3 flyer. Seems good. You can only block creatures with flying. This will be good in a deck with blue aggro or as a sideboard against a high flying deck. All in all, though, I think it's going to be a good starter. Next here we have Aim for the Head. Love this picture. So for a black and 2, you can choose one. You can exile target zombie or target opponent exiles 2 cards from their hand. Wow, this is nuts. Nothing like discard that later in the game can be used as removal. Now, this might not be a starter for every deck, although I would always start one of these in draft just because discard is good. But having a couple extra in a sideboard, if they're playing, and you find out they're playing heavy zombies, not only can you make them discard things, but you exile all their zombies. Like, this is a great card. Moving on. We have Bleed Dry. So for 2 black and 2, we got an instant. Target creature gets -13, -13 until end of turn. Sweet Jesus. If the creature would die, you exile it. How could it not die at -13, -13? But anyway, So yeah, this is gonna be a great black removal spell. It costs 4. You get about one of these in every set. 4 mana, pretty much universal removal. We have a Blood Fountain common. When it enters the battlefield, get a blood token. Not too bad. For black and 3, you tap it. Sacrifice the Blood Fountain. Return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Um, okay. It's not your average dig things out of your graveyard deck, but I think it's okay. You get 2 creatures. It costs basically 5 mana, but you can. It gives you that 1 drop early game. So yeah, I can see it being playable. We have the Diagraph Scavenger. Sword stuck in his head with a bird hanging out. That's funny. It's a black and 3 for a 2/3 with Death Touch. All right, it's already good as Death Touch. It's removal. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. If a creature card was exiled this way, each opponent loses 2 life. You gain 2 life. So each team got a bonus there. I see this easily playable in a 4 slot. Doom Dissenter. So this is a reprint as always. This was a card from before. For a black and 1, you get a 1/1. When it dies, you get 2/2 zombie. I think it first came out in the Amonkhet blocks. Here we have Gift of Fangs. We have 1 black to enchant a creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 as long as it's a vampire. Otherwise, it gets -2/-2. So this is going to be really good in limited because not only is it removal, but it also pumps the team. So yeah, this is going to be an all-star. Next here we have Grisly Ritual, and that's exactly what it looks like. For a black and 5, destroy target creature or planeswalker, create 2 blood tokens. So once again, high cost, high reward removal. Have one in every set. Persistent Specimen, 1 black for a 1/1. For a black and 2, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. There's skeletons like this all the time in several different sets that have done this. They're okay, not too shabby. Disappointed Discussion, black and 2. You get to draw 2 cards, lose 2 life, then create a blood token. So this is a kind of a better sign in blood because you get a blood token. However, it is a sorcery and costs 1 more. But most of those spells like this have been upgraded to a 3 mana cost in general anyway. So here we have Undying Malice. So for 1 black, it's an instant. Until end of turn, target creature gains. When this creature dies, return to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it. So we've had this already too. Feign Death and other spells just like it. It's a good combat trick. Vampire's Kiss, black and 1. Target player loses 2 life. You gain 2 life. Create 2 blood tokens. Not terrible if you have a blood token strategy going on. It's also good for direct damage. It'll have its place, but it probably won't be a starter. Ancestral Anger. So for 1 red, target creature gains trample and +X/+O to end a turn, where X is 1 plus the number of cards named Ancestral Anger in your graveyard. Draw a card. Wow. So in red, this is gonna be really good because it'll help you cycle through your deck. And if you manage to get 2 or 3 of these, like wow, you can just really go ham. So I mean, on a one-off or whatever, you're probably not going to see a whole lot of these. But if you see this cast once, you're going to see it get cast a lot. So next here we have Blood Petal Celebrant, a red and 1 for a 2/1. It has first strike as long as it's attacking, which is really good. And when it dies, you create a blood token. So great common card for limited. Definitely going to be on par with one of the 2 slots on almost every deck that plays red. Next here we have Bloody Betrayal, red and 2. Gain control of target creature in turn, untap that creature. It gains haste till end of turn, create a blood token. This is your basic snatch and grab card that you get to take your opponent's card, untap it, punch him in the face with it, except this one gives you a blood token and it costs 1 less. Normally these spells run around 4, but here lately a spell's been dipping in price. Alright, here we have In the Festivities, the wolves are here. For 1 red, In the Festivities deals 1 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. So this is not going to be a starter, but this is definitely going to be a sideboard card for to take care of Winnie decks. I like it a lot. So next here we have Falkenrath Celebrants. Red and 4 for a 4/4, not bad with Menace. Okay, when it enters the battlefield, create 2 blood tokens. If you need something high on the curve, you don't have anything, this will fit in just fine, but not really anything too spectacular. Flame Blessed Arrow for 1 red. It deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If that creature or planeswalker would die this turn, you exile it. It's basically shock. So yeah, it's good. Next here we have Lacerate Flesh. Red and 4 says it deals 4 damage to target creature. Create a number of blood tokens equal to the amount of excess damage dealt to that creature this way. Alright, this is your basic 4 mana for 5 with the with the benefit of if you have to kill something small that's bugging you, you actually get some blood tokens as a benefit instead of just nothing. So not bad. I'd probably play it if I had to. Reckless Impulse, red and one. Exile top two cards of your library until end of your next turn. You may play those cards. So, welcome back. I'm having a brain fart. You know what I mean. That one card would let you exile two cards off the top of your deck and play them for that turn. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's 2 mana. Yeah, it's a sorcery, but yeah, who cares? It's a common. I think this is going to see a lot of play in limited. I think this will probably have a place in several other decks as far as not only standard, but maybe modern and pioneer as well, because this is just too good. Light up the stage. That's the card. I knew I'd think of it. Anyway, moving on. So here we have Lightning Wolf. It's a red and 3 for a 4/3. That's already a decent rate. For red and 1, Lightning Wolf gains first strike at the end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. So this thing is bananas. Um, yeah, they'll know it's first strike before it comes in, but if it's a 4 mana first striker in a common slot, woo. It's gonna be hard to deal with this thing. It's gonna be a limited all-star. Moving on here, we have the Pyrespawn. 2 red and 4 for a 6/4. Very interesting. When the Pyrespawn dies, deals 3 damage to any target. So this is a great red top of your curve kind of card. Because not only can it kill people and other things, but when it dies, it can bolt your opponent or bolt anything else you're having trouble with. Basically, it's saying that I kill anything that has 9 toughness. So, moving right along. You have Sure Strike. This is obviously reprint. Red 1. Target creature gets +3/+0 and gains first strike to end a turn. New picture, same name, different name maybe, whatever. Great combat trick. Red's going to be using it a lot. Look for it. We have the Voldaren Epicure. Okay, so for 1 red, you get a 1/1. When he enters the battlefield, deal 1 damage to each opponent, and you create a blood token. So this is actually be good, I think, in limited, just because, yeah, it's a 1/1. It deals 1 damage to the opponent. You may never hit him with it, but the blood token, the ability to discard and draw a card is sweet. Plus, there are cards that, you can sacrifice this later and get better effects out of them from exploits. So I think I think it's going to be a good card. All right, here we have Crashing Canopy. If you didn't know, this is a reprint, same name and everything. For 1 green and 2, you destroy a creature flying or an enchantment. Always been good. Play at least 1, put some more in your sideboard. We have Nature's Embrace, green and 2. You get an enchanted creature or land as long as the enchanted permanent is a creature gets +2/+2. If it's a land, it has tap at 2 mana of any color. This will be a limited all-star because it is multi-purpose. Not only is it creature pump, but it's also mana fixing, plus mana ramp. Sweet lord. This will probably see even standard play. Wow, this is good. So, moving right along. We have the Rural Recruit. So for a green and 3, you get a 1/1. Ew. I do like the picture with the hog. Anyway, he has training. We already talked about what training is. When Rural Recruit enters the battlefield, place a 3/1 green boar. Oh, that's why the pig's in the picture. Creature token into the field. So this thing's automatically going to be a 2/2 when you attack. So for 4 mana, you get a 2/2 and a 3/1 basically. This is going to be in every 4 slot that plays green. This is just too good not to. So, yeah. Next here, we have the Spore Crawler. That is disgusting. For a green and 2, you get 3/2, not bad. When Spore Crawler dies, you draw a card, even better. This is going to be one of the common all-stars. Having a 3/2 that can kill almost anything in the format, plus draw you a card, is just phenomenal. Moving right along, we have the Sporeback Wolf. At least it doesn't look disgusting. For a green and 1, it's a 2/2. As long as it's your turn, Sporeback Wolf gets +0/+2. So, sweet. So it's a 2/4 when you swing, a 2/2 when you block. I kind of like these creatures on the common side. Here we have the Toxic Scorpion, a green and 1 for a 1/1 with Death Touch. When it enters the battlefield, another target creature you control gains Death Touch until end of turn. So that's a very interesting thing. That guarantees you a swing with 1 creature. Plus, this is removal and it's cheap, comes out early, so definitely going to be an all-star. Here we have the Witch's Web. Ew. For a green and 1, target creature gets +3/+3 and gains reach till end of turn. Untap it. So this is going to be the combat card in green you guys got to look out for because they're going to start snapping your stuff off of this, whether it has flying or not. So, next here we have Wolf Strike. Green and 2, it's an instant. Target creature you control gets +2/+0 to end of turn. If it's night, then it deals damage equal to its power target creature you don't control. So it's not a fight card, guys. This is just direct damage from one creature to another. So this is removal in green, and it's good ones too. If it's night, Wow, is this going to be good. Watch out for this thing, especially since it's an instant. Here we have Ceremonial Knife, one colorless artifact. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has when combat. This creature deals combat. Whenever this creature deals combat damage, create a blood token. 2 to equip. Very interesting. Blood tokens can help you filter through your deck very fast, cycle away lands or extra lands that you don't want. So it looks like it can be a good card. Especially it says combat damage. If they don't block the creature you put this on, you still get the blood token. So yeah. Or if you block, you get the blood token. I mean, lots of good things going on here. This might be something you see a lot of, maybe. And we have Evolving Wilds. You don't know what this does yet. I don't know what to tell you. But basically, you get a basic land out of your deck. And that's all of the common cards. Dun dun dun. We are done with Crimson Vow spoilers, boys and girls. Feel free to go back through the videos, check them out, or check the list online so you can see them all. We'll start now. I'll start going through and seeing what I think are going to have the most impact on formats, whether it be modern, standard, uh, so forth and so on, and one of the best cards in the set in general, especially for money-wise in the future, in our future videos. Thanks a lot for your time. I really do appreciate it. I know it's been a long one, but until next time, be kind, and I hope to see you across from the pre-release game table.